Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast, where we talk all things Star Wars. My name is Colin,
And I'm Josh.
and honestly, there's like one big thing to talk about. Actually, one big thing, one small thing, and then we have a lot of fan ideas that you guys have sent us. So let's dive into it.
Ooh.
The Mandalorian season 3 is still undergoing additional filming, so there's reshoots. Just a few days ago, the actress who plays Bo-Katan, Kitty Sackhoff, posted an apology on Instagram, saying that I I ended up working much later than anticipated on the Mandalorian. We all know and love, and it made it quite difficult for me to get myself to the convention in time before signing off the video. She says this is the way. And they've been filming a lot of different things. They're still filming Ahsoka. There's a chance that she might be in the Ahsoka series. I'm guessing that she will
I
be,
wouldn't
but
doubt that she's super busy right now.
oh yeah. So, but it doesn't surprise me that they've also are doing reshoots for Mandalorian season 3 because they showed us a lot at Celebration, which I was really surprised by because I was like, you guys still have a long way to go. No, like
was it like without like visual effects or something?
no, it was with visual effects. So I was surprised
Okay.
that was like a bunch of footage because I was not expecting it. That was really one of the things I would have expected them to do. But I'm very excited for season 3 of Mandalorian. We are going to see some obscure, Star Wars things, but we're also going to see things that we're familiar with. For example, Babu Frick is uh is going to be showing up, and then some of his species is going to be showing up. So
Did you see that when you were at Celebration?
Yes.
That wasn't like was it like a trailer for it, or was
Yes.
it as like
Yes.
like a teaser or like an actual trailer?
It was a full out trailer.
How many seconds of footage would you say you've seen currently?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes of footage because
was it like a separate, like you get like a trailer and then they talk about the trailer at different scenes.
No. So when we went on that first day for the panel, it was like the Lucasfilm panel. So they only showed like maybe a minute and a half of the season's 3 trailer. But then we went to the Mandalorian Plus panel. They like showed 3 minutes, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is insane. So that was super cool to see. And I was blown away that we got any stuff with Ahsoka. That was like incredible. So I'm super excited to see what they have in store.
You can technically talk about anything that you've seen, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, would you say that there was anything specifically you're like that is gonna play a big part? Or, like, could you piece together any bit of story? Trailer?
Definitely. The opening shot is them walking through ruins, which a lot of people have suspected like it's like they're on Mandalore, but the ending shot of the trailer is them actually on you can see the capital city of Mandalore like in ruins, which is really cool to see live action. I was not expecting it, so seeing that was super cool, and I think we will definitely see a part of where people explore Mandalore and maybe rediscover of what a true Mandalorian is, and maybe that's where Christopher Lloyd's character comes in, because we really don't know what he's doing, but most likely he's going to be a Mandalorian elder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, there is a lot to look forward to on that side. And the actor who plays Moff, I can't say his name for the life of me.
Gideon?
But the
Giancarlo Esposito.
Thank you. Yes. He said that his ambitions for power are going to be stronger than ever, and he still wants Grogu.
I still really think that he reports to Thrawn, so
oh yeah,
isn't to do something with Grogu. So I 100% think that we'd see Thrawn. Did you see anything alluding to him while you watched that trailer?
No, I did not.
That's very interesting. That's what makes me think that. I mean, me and Mason talked about it before, but we thought that it might be like kind of get a Moff Gideon reveal at the end where he's still alive, but it's like a Thrawn turnaround. It's like, yep,
yeah,
I'm here. I'm a part of the story now. Like you wouldn't like, I wouldn't doubt you just see like Moff Gideon being like finally like reporting back, and then like all you hear is like Thrawn be like, "You failed me," and then he turns around, and everyone's like, "I either know who that is or have no idea who that is." But
yeah,
that's what I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, because of not everyone is a fan of Star Wars Rebels or really knows it, and the actress who plays Sabine said that the Ahsoka story is not season 5 of Star Wars Rebels, and it's like its own standalone story. But I'm just like, I think it's going to be season 5 of Rebels, like just in live action, because you've got Sabine coming back, you've got Zeb, Hera, Chopper. Their like mission is to go find Ezra, so it's like that's like season 5 of Rebels right there. It's got all the main characters.
Oh wow! So that's what the main story is going to be, is going to find Ezra. And,
that's what they're hinting at. That's the story that Dave Filoni has been looking at for a while.
Okay.
When I think it was the 1 year anniversary of Rebels, Dave Filoni made like a sketch of what he thought would have happened in season 5, and it was Ahsoka and Sabine like going to look for Ezra on the snow planet, and at the end of season 4 of Rebels, Ahsoka goes to Lothal to find Sabine so they can go look for Ezra. And we actually get that shot again, like of the end of where she is looking at the, because Sabine made a mural of the group on the wall, and then she turns around, and then there's Ahsoka trying to do an impression of Gandalf, and she's wearing like the white cloak and yeah. So, but when they showed us like the teaser trailer of Ahsoka, we see
you saw that as well. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it was live action, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool."
Was it her in the robe and the staff? Or?
It's that same scene, except we didn't see Ahsoka. We just saw Sabine looking at the wall, and then she turns around.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
Yeah. So
not season 5 of Rebels, but also season 5 of Rebels.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the actress playing Sabine was a big Star Wars. I mean, like, I think she is a Star Wars fan, but sometimes when you're filming these things, you don't know exactly what you're shooting, and that's what they did in Marvel, and that's what they do with some Star Wars projects. So maybe that's what they might have did.
I mean,
this.
Did you like how Rebels ended as a series, or like as a animated series, or did you not? Because I think if they're just trying to make it so that, like, hey, this is its own thing, please notice it as its own thing and not just live action Rebels. Like, I think, of course, you would say that. Just be like, well, it's an Ahsoka series. It's definitely not season 5 of Rebels, I promise.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of think so. I think it did well. I don't think anyone pictured that it would be doing that they would do something live action with this. There are a lot of characters that you never thought you would see live action. Bo-Katan is one of them. I was very surprised by that. Seeing Ahsoka, I never thought I would see her in live action in a million years, but here we are. So there's always potential for growth for different characters. To be honest, I don't think we will have a big appearance, but I really want to see Zeb like in live action because of his like character was really cool in Rebels, but just seeing him live action is going to be
the same voice actor to come back.
Steve Bloom has to come back. I'm gonna be so mad if he doesn't.
That would be really funny. I don't like. Here's the thing though: is like we haven't. Have we seen his species on screen? I don't think we have.
No, so
I know because he's like the prototype. Yeah. So I'm just like that guy. Like even from the concept art of what he's based on, looks scary. So see live action.
His eyes are so big, bro.
Exactly. I'm just saying, like, that would be freaky.
Yeah, because I just feel like that would be a lot of work to actually do like the motion capture for it too, because of the way that he walks and moves. Like,
of course.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that they would just do him fully CGI or at least enhanced practical, really enhanced practical effects where all you're seeing is like a torso up and the rest is like CG if they have to get him like but like most of the time he's just like torso up because we don't want to have to deal with all the other like spindly bits, and then he's voiced by the same guy, and then
his character was super cool to me, and I always wanted to see him live action with a lot of the other characters because of, we know Hera's going to be in it because we see her in the teaser, which is super, super cool.
I wouldn't. And then she fits fine. That makes sense.
Yeah. That
make a fake French accent for like 2 sentences.
Well, it sounds like the actress that voiced her in Rebels is actually going to be playing her live action.
What do you know?
Yeah. Which, again, that's what I'm hoping for Thrawn. I want...
It is. Is it? I almost for sure it is.
Well, they have not 100% confirmed it. Rosario Dawson leaked it a while ago, but that wasn't like 100% like confirmation of where Lucasfilm was like, these are the people playing them.
Like, hey man, we need you to lose just a little bit more weight, and then we'll be like, yeah, sure, you hit this goal weight, and we're good.
There was also, how do you feel about the casting of Ezra? Because apparently live action Ezra is going to be being played by the guy who played live action Aladdin back in 2019.
I heard about that. I mean, it's a fit. I mean, who else do you really see playing that character that would fit the ethnicity side? I don't really. And I mean, like, of course Disney's going to be like, hey, look, we have this character. We've already worked with him. We know that he can act. We know we have all of his details here. And, it's easy to just rehire him to do this. And I'm like, that makes sense to me. It's not going to be Star Wars the musical. So let's hope that you can just act great. But I mean, unpopular opinion, acting in Rebels wasn't like amazing anyway. So, it's cheesy.
You have to remember. Yeah, I would say you have to remember that voice acting is a lot different than actual acting.
Well, okay, so I will say that it is a lot more serious in Clone Wars than it is in Rebels.
Yes.
If you want to talk about voice acting, it is a lot more serious.
Star Wars Rebels was definitely lean more towards kids. And you could definitely tell that first season was like, yeah. But the second, third, and fourth season, I'm taking that you don't agree with that statement, or no?
I've never seen Rebels as very stake heavy. Like literally, it's like even when Mason's on and he talks about how Inquisitors just don't do much. I'm like, yep. Like it never felt like even the voice acting side. Like the voice acting could be on point, like perfect voice for the character, but what they're dealing with, like on screen, the dialogue and then like the reactions have never been like, whoa.
I felt like the second season definitely got darker.
Oh yeah, it definitely gets better.
Like that was really good. And then the third and fourth season picked up a lot. I loved what they did through the last couple of seasons because you felt, even though like the stakes didn't get higher, because you knew that some of these characters weren't going to make it. I still felt like they did a great job with it, and I would have loved to see them do more. And then they announced this show, and we saw the teaser, and I'm like, okay, so it's pretty much going to be like season 5 of Star Wars Rebels. And something that I would love to see which I'm hoping happens, is it when Ahsoka goes on her journey and she goes to the world between worlds thing. It would be cool if maybe we saw like a flashback of Kanan with like Ezra or something, and then we saw Freddie Prinze Jr. come back live action, like as Kanan. Like I think,
that would be really cool.
Yeah, because of honestly, he looks like Kanan.
That's an easy fit.
Yeah, he could definitely pull it off. But yeah, I am very, very excited to see what these next couple of shows do. How do you feel about Andor coming up? Like, I'm just excited for more Coruscant. There is going to be a lot of Coruscant in that show.
I think I'm the one person who I like. One of my favorite Star Wars films in the last 10 years is going to be
Rogue One.
Definitely Rogue One.
Yeah.
I feel like that is the most true to Star Wars, as in the original trilogy, as any of like Star Wars media we've had so far. But personally, I'm really excited for Andor because how many episodes are we getting?
12 in the first season and then 12 in the next.
They're giving it time. And I think that a lot of even the Marvel side of the shows, they haven't given enough time to their characters in the amount of episodes that they've given. So seeing that we're actually getting a full 12 episode season, I think you either have the opportunity to develop characters really, really deeply, or you have the opportunity to tell many different stories that have an overarching plot. And I think that's super, super valuable. Like if Andor was only just like a rebellion beginning, like the beginning of the rebellion, but it's only like it's like an anthology, like every single episode is like a new story throughout the new rebellion, and like Andor pops like he pops up in every single like episode or like throughout the series, bringing people together for this like alliance. I'm like that sounds great. I mean, I want to see new Star Wars all the time. I'm going to say, I don't know about seeing an AK-47. Yeah. I don't know about seeing those guns, but it's exciting for me because I feel like there's so much new that they can do with that series. And I was saying like how the guy who animated the Samurai Jack, his Clone Wars, there is episodes of that show where it literally just focuses on like some aliens on a planet. Like it has nothing to do with something super serious, but it's a small story that's contained that's really cool to watch. And I think that I want that from Star Wars, is more smaller contained stories that do justice by broadening the universe.
I honestly think we will get that in the Andor series, and something else as well, which I'm not a lot of people are talking about this, so I'm curious what you think. But the first season will take place over a year, right? And then the second season will cover 4 years. Okay. And then the final episode will lead into the events of Rogue One.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, there's a lot to. Yeah, there's a lot to cover there. I think something that I'm intrigued by that is we see clones in that first trailer that we got for Andor, because we see clones in a village. Now it's just they aren't part of any legion. It looks like they're like the standard grunt clone, like of just all the white armor. So I'm very intrigued by that scene. Or which I'm thinking that will be kind of like the origin story for Andor. Even though the whole show is, I think that will be like, you know, of that comment that he made in Rogue One of being like, I've been in this fight since I've been 5 years old. Like I think that will be like that like scene right there of where he, you know, kind of joins the rebellion and everything at such a young age.
Mm-hmm. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so there is a lot of stuff going on. coming up here pretty soon, and then we got a comment here. And we also have D23 coming up on September 10th, and that will show us more footage of some of the new Star Wars projects. Might even have a Ahsoka teaser there, or we might get more of a sneak peek of some of the other Star Wars things coming out. So stay tuned for September 10th for that, because
I keep saying I want more things added to the park, but I know that we have to wait for it. I really want more things added to Galaxy's Edge. That's my number one thing, please. Oh, did you see I just saw today the new end caps for the sabers, the Wampa one and the Porg one. I just saw that today.
Yeah, those have been out for a bit, right? Yeah. Are you talking about like the Wampa one where it looks like it's carved in ice?
Yeah, that one was cool.
Yeah.
And then eventually we'll get the new saber parts, which I'm very excited for. Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. How do we feel about the?
Did you see anything else at Celebration that was going to come besides, like, we knew the characters are going to be walking around?
They will. So it honestly sounds like, we'll get everything eventually. Is what they're saying without saying anything, and then the other thing is, for the bounty hunter experience, that will be exclusive to Hollywood Studios. That's not going anywhere else. Ooh, that will be exclusively for us.
Very fancy,
which is nice, because we really don't have anything exclusive besides the Halcyon. But there's not that many people that do the Halcyon,
because they hadn't had magic bands over in California for a long. Yeah, they never had it up until now, so they can start pushing the new ones.
Yep,
it's gonna look cool. I'm excited. Yep. I'm excited to get more people interacting with the park.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Matt Martin actually posted on his Instagram last week that he was here, and he was actually testing the bounty hunter stuff and all that fun stuff. And
because from the video that we've seen, we know what it does. You saw the pics in the video?
Yeah. You will go scan it. You'll go around the land, and then you'll do your bounty hunter holoscan thing, and then you'll go report back.
You saw how they painted the doors now? The doors are now marked with the symbol.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. That was all talked about at that panel.
Cool.
Over at Star Celebration, and then that's also news online as well. But yeah, no, there is a lot more things coming this year. We still don't have the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber yet, but that's gonna. I guarantee that will drop probably with the Kanan. The Kanan.
Kanan one, because Kanan's one meant to drop faster than
Obi-Wan.
Than Cal's one, because Cal's one took forever. They say that it was because of COVID, and I was
you said it. Every time that you say that word, our podcast gets if you want to learn more about COVID.
You never told me that.
Oh, well, there you go. Cool. We'll just have to bleep that out. So no, but yeah, no. I want more things for Guy. Are you laughing because of that? Because you didn't know
that? Yeah, sabers wise, I hope his comes soon. I would love to get a seasonal rotation of these new lightsabers. There's always a constant new one coming out. Because I mean, of the ones that came out that just randomly came out, of course, we needed we needed Palpatine's, and then we got it, which was great.
Yep.
Luminar's one, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then Asajj. See, That's something that I don't think a lot of people talk about is how Asajj Ventress's lightsaber is the exact same one that Darth Maul has as his second piece of his hilt in the Clone Wars. They are the exact same lightsaber. And I'm pretty sure Asajj Ventress's lightsaber, the yellow one she has, is only mentioned about in the book. And in the book, they say that she went to some back market dealer and they made her one. So I'm like, there's a connection here that I would love to find out just because the sabers look so similar.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of grim, kind of slick details that when they drop items, sometimes they just don't even talk about it and say, "Hey, we are dropping this," and then sometimes they just drop it because of on Star Wars Day in 2021. Yeah, I think it was Star Wars Day in 2021. They just put more of the Clone Wars Ahsoka lightsabers on the shelf, and they put like the exclusive Rey saber and the Leia saber like combo that they were selling, and they didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, I was seeing people buy the Ahsoka saber in droves. They love that thing. Yeah, I mean, was there any sabers that you really want that? I think we'll get an Inquisitor one. Like I want to say that we're going to get an Inquisitor one, but I don't know how much that thing is going to be.
I think honestly, I think they would do. I think they would do Rava's, just kind of push more merchandise for that character. They already made hers for Black Series, so it would make sense if they would just carry that over to the park.
Well, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I would love to see them bring in some stuff for Galaxy's Edge, like little Doc Under things that are Inquisitor based things. I would love that, but we'll have to see. Yeah, sabers wise, I think that they have tons of potential. I think from a marketing side, it's kind of annoyingly hard where you're kind of like, I don't know which lightsaber is going to sell good or whatever. So of course you would want to go with the whole voting system, but we'll have to see because it wasn't the lightsaber that got picked wasn't the one that I voted for, but I voted for Sifo-Dyas as one. But
so did I. I really, really wanted that one really bad.
And it's weird because they didn't. Maybe we'll get like a pool of rotation, like one every season. I would love one vote every season because then you could be like you can bring ones back and see if people like maybe like the second option that people wanted. Or I mean, this is only almost year 3 of doing this, so I mean I think we're doing good. So I mean, and now we're pumping through new lightsabers, so it's been really good.
What saber would you really want? That they haven't like announced yet. Like, I mean, because of they were doing the weird one from Vader Immortal as one.
Lady Corvax, yeah, Lady Corvax's weird sword thing with like the crystal in the middle. I was like, I wanted to see how they would have fixed and done that and kept it looking similar because a lot of people were very critical on the fact that Cal Kestis' one is huge.
Yeah,
and it's just because they needed stability. Like swords that I wanted to see really like weird ones. Like do we know that the what do you call it? The pike one is technically canon. Yes, no, I can't remember. I want to see like weird variants of the sabers being brought in and being like, yeah, just what's here. We don't have Yodas for some reason.
That would be one I would definitely want.
I don't know why though.
Why
don't we have that?
Because it's I mean, I would say is it because of its size, but then it's
no. We have the mini blades.
Yeah.
Do we know which blades are meant to go with Ahsoka's ones? The inchwise.
That's
because there's 3 different options of blades that you can pick from, and I can't remember what the sizes is, but I know that the smallest one is there as well. I thought that the smallest blade would have been for Yoda's saber, but I never saw it when I went originally, and I wondered if they would bring it back.
I could see them doing that. I mean, I don't know. Like, there's so much room for potential, like for new sabers. I
Mhm.
think for me, one like big one, I'm surprised they haven't done, and it's would probably be the easiest one that they could do, would be Qui-Gon Jinn's. That has
Because they
been
had to vote
on,
for it.
yeah, but like it's
That's what
so
I said. I was
easy.
like, I know. That's what I said. I said that's a really easy saber to make, but
Like,
because it was voted on, I don't know if they'll do it. Like they'll probably watch them do it in this like next coming season. They're just gonna be like, here's Qui-Gon, just randomly in the store.
I mean, I could 3D print that one. Like, that's how easy it is, because it is like a flashlight. Like, it like honestly is in the shape of a flashlight, and it's just I just really hope that we get that one soon.
I would love to see old Sith Lord sabers, like, but we don't know what they look like officially in this new Star Wars canon. So, like Revan saber,
Oh yeah.
like we have a Black Series, but good luck figuring out what it's meant to look like in this canon timeline. So.
We will have to see. Yeah, no. Um I could see them doing Ezra's from season 1 for
With
some
the
reason.
weird gun thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering why that wasn't one there, and I think that would be a really interesting one to have. If it was like a full metal, and that'd be pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I do see a lot of kids walking around with the plastic one, so I'm like, it would be pretty cool to have the metal one.
Yeah, no. Because if we still don't have the Darth Maul one from Rebels, I think that
Mhm.
would be a really cool one to have. But yeah, I don't know.
Darth
I don't
Maul
know,
one from
man.
Rebels. So like, is
It
weird
like
canon
has
one?
so it's the one where he can put in the cane, and it has like that kind of spike coming out of it.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, I know what you're
and
talking about.
it
That'd be cool.
and it goes back to that theory that you were having, like how cool would it be if like if somehow Darth Maul got Reva's saber, and then like like and then Reva saber is Maul's saber, and in that season 2 finale of Rebels, like
Mhm.
that's the saber that I'm talking about, because
Yeah, I
it
know what you're
does
talking
it does look like an
about. Half an
Inquisitor
Inquisitors.
lightsaber. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I did want to take a second and talk about our new Patreon, because we just launched our new tiers, and we have had some people sign up for a couple of them. I just wanted to kind of talk about it, but
Mm.
pretty cool. We are now on Patreon. Well, we've always been on Patreon, but we have updated the tiers, and this has been a huge collab of work between you, Josh, and Ray, and David, and it's been a lot of hard work, but we finally got them up. We have a lot of content coming your way, and let's just kind of talk about it for a sec. So we have the first one where it's the blue kyber crystal. It's $2, and the patrons at this level will receive access to a private Discord server. Ray's in charge of it, and we have a lot of you on there, which is super, super exciting. And then we have the green kyber crystal tier, and that comes with everything from the first one, and it comes with ad-free versions of our weekly episodes and put on future videos, behind the scenes, and of course bloopers, because everyone loves bloopers. Yeah. And I think I jumped the gun. There we go. And in the purple kyber crystal, it comes with everything from the first 2 tiers, and it comes with access to our mini merch, like our stuff that we were handing out at a Star Celebration, including our challenge coins, magnets, stickers, pins, you name it. It's there. Unboxing videos. Did David's already recorded a decent amount, and there's a lot of cool rare items that a lot of people wouldn't open, but David, being the Star Wars fan he is, he bought 2 of each so he can keep one and then open one. And then, you know, personal shout outs on the podcast, of course, which, by the way, I owe one to Shane Colony for helping me out today. So Shane, there's your shout out, bro.
Hey, Shane.
Thanks, man. And then there is us going to Galaxy's Edge, going around and kind of pointing out the Easter eggs. And there's a lot of Easter eggs to point out.
Now, did you know about the Ghostbusters Easter egg, or did you know about the Walking Dead Easter egg?
Well, guess what? You have to listen to our Patreon to find out. Yeah. My favorite one out of that
Spaceballs one
is the Spaceballs one, because I think that is such an obscure one that no one really talks about. But let's jump to the Red Kyber Crystal tier, where it comes with everything from the first 3, and it goes to access to our clothing merch, where it's going to be, you know, shirts, hats, and all that fun stuff. And then Sabak Talk, which we are recording one on Friday. That's super. It's going to be fun. We are doing it with a couple of fellow Star Wars nerds, and it's going to be a good time. And then we have the individual hour-long hangout with the host once a month, and then we have a personalized thank you video, and then of course to the final tier, $66, dollars, of course.
Black Kyber Crystal.
Order 66. And it's got access to the current and future merch, chances to win items from our unboxing videos, and then it comes with everything from our first couple of tiers. So that is our Patreon. Really, really exciting stuff. Yeah. All right. So the next thing that we wanted to talk about was we asked you guys on Instagram today
user polls.
Yeah, of what you guys wanted for future projects. And honestly, you guys didn't disappoint. We actually got a lot of responses. I think the first one, which this caught Josh's eye and he was intrigued by it. It was by Sage West, and it says a Jango Fett solo series on how he became a successful bounty hunter. But I don't know if this was like a kind of like a joke from last week's episode, but a PG-13 style. Can you elaborate what you think that means, Josh?
I'm assuming everything that was in that Star Wars 1313 trailer. Literally everything that was in that trailer. For me, I think that if you're going to say a PG-13, it's going to be dark and gritty, air quotes, a kind of more of not as focused on entertainment as in comedy entertainment. I believe it'd be like, I mean, we've seen a lot of it already in the Clone Wars side of him growing up and becoming a bounty hunter himself. Yeah. So it's I think it'd be really cool to see another Cad Bane live action. I think it'd be really cool just to see him coming of age, learning all of this, his ways to become a proper bounty hunter. PG-13 wise, yeah. I want to see spice smuggling. I want to see.
Oh yeah.
Him just being ruthless, blasting through people, not caring anymore, just being the Boba Fett that we actually like.
And we technically already got not the early stages of Jango Fett's origin story, but we got that game that came out a couple of years ago, which that technically isn't canon anymore, but that was still a great game, and I hope that some of the elements of it are canon. Are you good?
Yes. I just had a weird sound to the left of me. I was like, is that an animal? I don't own any animals.
Yeah. But yeah, so I I think if we got something with Django would be cool. I mean,
Django would be interesting. Like his son is so much more of someone you can talk about. So I think Django's one would be very interesting. I
yeah.
mean, we have. I would love to see some chronicle adventure like the Bounty Hunter game. So I mean, I don't know how much of his story would be like super interesting. Like I mean, we've talked about how in what is it in the Mandalorian season 2, how he's like, my dad helped Mandalorians, that's why I am a Mandalorian. So I was
Yeah.
like, that would be really cool to see.
Yeah.
But who knows?
There's another one here by South Tampa Gatsby. That's a name. This is it's probably more of a joke, but to me, it sounds like it would be a
You
great
want an
project.
Elvis movie, but instead of it being Elvis, it's Max Rebo.
a 5-part special on Max Rebo and his rise to fame. That would be. I mean, I think like a fake biopic where it had like different.
That would be a great mockumentary. That would be a hilarious mockumentary. I think having that would be great.
Having different like Star Wars musicians show up and just talk about like his like start as a musician and then working his way up to Jabba's palace would be so funny. Like and then they would do like some like fake behind the scenes of where they're at Jabba's palace, and then like Max Rebo ends up getting done with the set, and then him and Snoodles ends up like having like a fight and being like, your like pitch was so off base, and oh my god, it'd be so funny. Oh man.
Yes, his full-on origin story from his first little bands as a kid, where he started his own little tin band,
and then they just started working their way up. And this one I think you would definitely like. One that would be mainly based on the Agent Sith lore. And I think we'll get that in the Acolyte series. Yeah.
I am begging for more things to do with like Old Republic side. We have what, 2 Sith, like 3 Sith that we've actually seen like in live action. Is it like 3? Yeah, 3 technically. Yeah. So I think there's so much room for
Vader. Well, no, 4 because of Vader, the Emperor, Maul, and then
Dooku.
Yeah, and Dooku.
That's 4. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. How many Jedi we seen? 1 billion.
Too many, bro. Yeah.
Go back to the origins. I desperately want them to talk about the split planet thing, where everyone used to be apart and they could feel both the light side and the dark side, and then that split apart, and then you had 2 different planets. And I would love for them to talk about that. I would love for them to get all the way through the series and we find out why there is only a rule of 2 and explaining the rule of 2.
I'm actually excited for all right, so for Friday when we do Sabak Talk, Jeff is a big High Republic fan, and he's also a big fan of that lore. So I think that's going to be like a big topic that we talk about.
Okay.
Because of I'm interested in their like, because I know they're like, Star Wars fans, but I don't know like their full out points of view. So it's gonna be really interesting for us to like dive into those topics. But I think more stuff with Sith is definitely a good idea. And then someone said post sequels content.
See, that's something that I wouldn't doubt that they're gonna use Grogu for. Like that's like my number one prediction for Grogu is him be spanning from prequels to prequels to original trilogy to sequels. Like, and I think he has, like, I wouldn't doubt that he has something a major part to play throughout all of Star Wars, but we're not gonna get it until it's like a sequels thing.
I just don't know how I feel about it though. Is my thing.
Because watch it be like the clone, like he has like a significant part to play in all three. Like, let's say like he's the reason that Darth Vader even had a little bit of Anakin left in him, because when he went to go
No.
slaughter everyone, he was
Nope.
like, that little guy is just so cute, I just can't. And then he walks away. He's like, no. And, and then you have original, and it's
That would
gonna
be
be
so dumb. People would be like, he's the key to everything. And I'm like, no.
that's my point. Is
He
I
was
genuinely
mainly
think they
made
would
to
do
sell
that.
merchandise.
Yes, that's why I
That
think
is
him
why
coming
he's
back
there.
for
He's not.
season 3, I'm kind of like,
No. And now I'm good.
I wouldn't doubt. And then he shows up in the new, like, he shows up like 30 years, and he could speak. He could speak now, so he's gonna talk to Rey. He's gonna have something to do with Rey. He's gonna be like, "Well, I was the reason that Snoke actually was ever able to be cloned, was because of me." Like, and I'm your way to find other Force users so we can start a new school. Like, that's what's gonna happen.
A part of me would want post sequel stuff, so then that way we could explore, you know, possibly explore more of Galaxy's Edge. I think something with Bot 2 where we are kind of expanding our look on things over there would be great, because right now it's you go there, you look around, and then you leave, because it can get so repetitive and not everyone wants to wait in those lines, and that's totally understandable. So it's a really cool thing to look at, but we know that not everyone will go just for the rides. So I think if they end up having an episode or a show, or they end up having where
Like
they end up
that's where
adding
that
it
thing
to the
was.
game.
That's where that shot. I saw that in the show. That's where they shot the guy.
Yeah.
There's a mark right over the wall.
You understand, just something small like that would bring their numbers up so much.
Well,
Like that.
actually, if you have played the Oculus Quest, which is now called the Meta Quest, you'd know in the Star Wars game.
That is true, but not everyone has.
No, not everyone owns a VR.
No, dude.
Yes, the cantina in that is right above the hangar.
And right now, you can actually experience that over at Disney Springs. It is just across from the AMC movie theater,
from Pepe's.
and it's in the old it's in the old
Disney Quest and NBA Experience.
Yeah, yep. It's right there. It's free. All you have to do is sign up, and then you get to play the first 9 minutes of the game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So there you go. You're welcome. We plugged it. But yeah. And then the final one would be which is something that I talked about, and this was an idea by Z Nets, which is lost Clone Wars episodes to be released. I 100% agree. I think the whole Son of Dathomir story, where like Maul ends up escaping, and then him, Grievous, the Emperor, and Dooku have like a 4-way lightsaber fight. I would have loved to see that on screen. And instead we got in the comic, which is fine. But I was just like, man, if like we got that in
any visual form of media would have been great.
I would have lost it because of now that not only were those 4 fighting, it was Mother
tells him.
Yeah. And that was like how she, died.
Mm-hmm.
And we never got to see that on screen in some visual way. So I'm hoping that they end up doing something with that, because the other one that I was really hoping they would do, at least in Bad Batch, would be where they have the origin story of how Boba gets his dent in his helmet, and it was from Cad Bane, and it was a scrap.
Kind of alluded to the same thing happening anyway.
Yeah, I
Just
know
like-
because we got that in Bad Batch. Like, I mean, like, no joke, that like was almost a copy and paste of that shoot off between Cad Bane and Hunter. That whole scene of them having a shootout was, if you compare it to the unfinished footage from that canceled arc, you can see that it is a copy and paste of Boba versus Cad Bane, but they just put it into Bad Batch, so it's Hunter versus Cad Bane. Except Cad Bane walks away in this one, and in Bad Batch, it's Hunter that gets shot.
Yeah, but he also had the head plate at that time, right?
Right. So we
explained the head plate as in like alluding to that's how he got it.
Yeah,
the same way,
I mean, I guess they are alluding to it, but I still would like a visual confirmation of being like, all right, it happened.
Just say yes, please.
Yeah, it's like, come on. But yeah.
So an anthology series of battles and or lost media that we would like explained, would that be good enough for you? Like, let's just say it's just an episode of where it's like they're talking back and forth about to shoot each other, and then the end of the episode is them doing that. And then like, all right, this next episode, what's something else that everyone's wanted to see that's in like only the comics or in something? Oh, yeah. How about we get a live action one of the Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan fight?
Yeah.
Like just little ones like that. I think that'd be a cool one.
What's the other one that we? Oh yeah, the other two stories that we technically never got it in. I think we got in a book, but not a comic book or anything. But I would love to see like Anakin get his scar. Okay. I think that would be very cool. And then the other one would be Asajj Ventress
live action.
Cutting Commander Wolf's eye, because he has that cybernetic eye, and we know that it was because of Asajj Ventress tried killing him, but then he like pulled away at the last second, but he like lost his eye. And I think seeing that would be really cool because of Commander Wolf is a really cool character, and I'm gonna take a guess that we will probably see him in Bad Batch season 2. Where you know he'll talk to Rex, and then Rex will end up getting his chip taken out because of we don't know what happens to Cody. I'm gonna be really sad if Cody and Rex end up having a shootout, and then Rex has to kill Cody. That's gonna be sad, bro. That's gonna be super sad.
And what do you think they're alluding to for Omega?
I don't know. Her like character is interesting because we really don't know where she fits in the timeline. Like, I don't know if she'll pull an Ahsoka and be like, all right, deuces, and then show up in live action and be like, I've been here this entire time, and be like, hey,
Rika.
She will show up in Mandalorian season 4, and she'll end up talking to Boba Fett and be like, oh my god, it is my brother Alpha, and we'll be like, wow, that's something there.
I wouldn't doubt them doing something weird like that. Like, oh, I know you.
I just want that Avengers lineup, bro. I like when they face Thrawn. I mean, could you imagine if they end up doing like a timeline thing where like Ahsoka pulls some people on the timeline, so it's like it's Mace Windu.
It's the same, like
it is the entire Jedi Council just walking out of the thing.
You're gonna get the same thing, like, you know, how she's like, and I'm all the Jedi, except it's like actually the Jedi.
Yeah, no, seriously, we are all the Jedi, and Mace Windu Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, like Yoda, like all these characters, and then on the side, like Jar Jar Binks is just lurking in the shadows, and he just puts on a cloak. He's like, good. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, no. I think everyone is going to freak out when that happens because we're actually going to be something that I'm afraid of is that will come around that I'm hoping that big event doesn't happen in 2024 because we're getting Stranger Things season 4 and in 2024. So if they end up doing because I think there is going to be like a big team up thing in Stranger Things and I don't want that to be compared to what they do in the new like and the big team up
Okay, fair statement.
episodes
Fair
that they
statement.
do of the Star Wars shows. I don't want them to do that.
Yeah, I don't think that they would end up competing against each other. Like, it doesn't
Uh,
seem like a smart idea.
I mean, Stranger Things
With the boys,
did
technically.
did come out around the same time as the boys, and it also came out around the same time as Kenobi as well, because Kenobi was what? Yeah, Stranger Things came out the same weekend
Hmm.
as the premiere of Obi-Wan because of we are getting that again at the end of the summer in August because we're getting Andor. We are getting the
Mhm.
first episode of Rings of Power, and then we're getting the first episode of the prequel series to Game of Thrones,
Ooh, I'm very excited.
all in the same weekend.
We're
And
getting fantasy lore again,
yeah, and on top of that, that's also the same weekend as Dragon Con, so that is going to be like a huge like nerd weekend.
which is why I think that we should put more fantasy lore back in Star Wars, please.
Yes,
Um,
I agree.
I'm gonna like what's the bird on Kashyyyk in Fallen Order called?
Oh yeah. Oh shoot.
A
I
giant pterodactyl
yeah.
dragon thing. I was like, this is really cool. I would like to see this in live action and
That
talk
also had
about
a
it in
whole
live
plot.
action.
That had a whole plot and in the game too. But what made me happy was like, oh, like it's cool to see, but I don't think we'll actually be able to ride it. And then he's like, wow, you're actually giving me a ride. And then you see him like flying like through
Like,
Kashyyyk, and I'm like,
whoa!
dude, that's awesome.
It's like that. I would love to like even the way they did the fight pit. Like that just sounds like I'm like I would love to see that in Star Wars. I would love to see a gladiator pit, but like um a Jedi is there like fighting. And I'm like that sounds amazing. Um More high fantasy as in like Dathomir was amazing in that game. Give me more wizards and witches in Star Wars, please. I'm all for that.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Man. I'm just really interested to see what Star Wars is going to be like in the next 10 years. Cuz think about it. We'll get all these projects that they've announced, well at least most of them anyway, unless somehow they get canceled or someone ends up doing something that someone doesn't like. I'm just calling that right now because most likely. Cuz that's what happened with Rangers of the New Republic. We're not getting that one. But yeah. Yep. So we'll have to see, man. There's a lot of new stuff coming out.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think that's everything. I don't think there
Yeah.
was really anything. Well, again, we are on. Where are you? There you are. We're on Patreon. We have Patreon now. It's really, really cool. Check us out
All
for
new
exclusive
Patreon,
content.
all new tiers, everything is new. Please go ahead and consider signing up to that Patreon. A whole bunch of new stuff we'd love to show you guys.
Yeah. And we are also doing book reviews. Mason wasn't on this one because he is recording an episode right now.
Everyone is going absolutely nuts on producing content for the Patreon. So, I mean, you're about to be a part of a major community if you decide to join our Patreon.
That is a best way to describe it. Yeah. We are a very active community, and there's a never ending supply of Star Wars content to talk about, Star Wars stuff, as some people say. So I encourage you guys to check it out because there's a lot of great things on the horizon, and we are looking forward to sharing it with you. But we're also on Instagram at Star Wars Stuff Podcast. We're on Twitter at Stuff Pod. We're on TikTok. Search Star Wars Stuff Podcast. We have the Facebook group. That's a great community. We love talking to you guys in there. And then, we have our email, Star Wars Stuff Podcast at gmail.com. And we have Audible. That's right. We're sponsored by Audible. Yeah. They have a lot of cool Star Wars novels on there, including comic books as well. We actually, so some of us did a review recently of this, which Josh, if you wanted to borrow this later, is for the Obi-Wan, is the Journals of Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is on Audible. This is super, super cool. I highly recommend this because you can tell that for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, they got a lot of inspiration from this journal. So I highly recommend checking that out. And then we're also on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Please go subscribe to learn about our newest episodes coming out, and go on Apple Podcast and give us a review. We love hearing your feedback, even though most of them lately have been like, you all like what I think one of the last ones was, it's okay, it could be better, but David's great. I like saying that one all the time.
David is great. David's great. He's the best.
I mean, because there was no feedback in that one. It was just like, you like guys are just but David's great. And it's like, okay.
Because he talks about Star Wars. Like, we don't talk about Star Wars.
Obviously. Yeah, clearly not, man. Clearly not. And we have our own website at stuffpodcastnetwork.com. And then we're on Twitch, SWStuff77. There's a lot of new Star Wars games coming out. We play a lot of Star Wars Battlefront 2, including Ewok Hunt and Heroes versus Villains. So definitely check us out there. We love you all, guys. We would not be doing this if it wasn't for you. So we greatly appreciate it. Without further ado, my name is Colin, and I'm Josh. The Force will be with you always.